Are we streaming? We're good to go. All right. Good evening. Here we go. Good evening and welcome to the Film and Media Arts end of year celebration, presentation, awards, and all the rest. So we're so glad that you're here, and welcome to those of you who've also joined us online. Hi there. All right. We're going to open our celebration with a prayer of thanks. So join me in prayer, please. Lord, we thank you for these student storytellers and all the ways that you've blessed their incredible creativity in their work this year. And we offer up this work to you, believing that you'll be honored by these efforts. And we thank you for our seniors especially, and ask you that you guide them in their next steps. Thank you for allowing us all to work together with this community of artists and creatives. Amen. All right, my name is Kathy Bruner, and I really can't make this work. There we go. All right, perfect. Better. Thank you. I am the co-chair of the Art, Film, and Media program, and it's my great honor to be with my colleagues this evening, my husband John Bruner and my colleague Steve Bailey. And Josh Taylor is not with us this evening. His wife had surgery today, successful surgery, but we offer up our prayers for Sarah and Josh. And then also Lincoln Reed, our other colleague, is not with us because he's in Maine working on his Master of Fine Arts. He's in his third residency in Maine, so. What?
I just said he's unreliable.
Oh, John says he's unreliable. That's so untrue. All right.
Sorry, Lincoln.
So let me tell you that we're going to celebrate the work of this year, both in classes and in co-curricular activities, by students from freshman to senior. But you have to have a few notes because most of today's winners are from the 2024-25 school year. However, as you know, there are a few classes that complete final projects right at the end of the school year. You know because some of you wish you were editing right now. Even during finals week, some projects will be due. And so those projects are actually not included in this year's awards. They are eligible for next year. And so similarly, there are a few projects from last year spring that are part of this evening's celebration. All right? So that means for audio production, film workshop, intro to TV writing, and narrative filmmaking, some of tonight's winners could actually be projects completed at the end of last year. All right? So tonight we're going to highlight the work of each senior. There are 18 of them sitting across the front row here. And we're going to play each senior's demo reel, and that's a brief demonstration of some of the clips of things that they've worked on over 4 years, and that'll be 90 seconds or less for each one of them. And then after you see their demo reel, that senior will come up and share a short reflection on their time at Taylor. Some of those were on their tables tonight. And we'll also get to hear what they hope is next for them. We're also going to recognize lots of award-winning projects from our classes this year. And from this point forward, the program is going to proceed without introduction, so you have it in front of you and you know how it's going to roll. This is actually the first time we've ever tried running this event in the Horn Academic Center. And because the screen sits on the floor, you might have difficulty seeing some of the lower third graphics, but we hope that will be more than made up for by the size and drama of the screen. So there we go. We're going to get started now with our first senior, Chloe Gard, and her demo reel.
Back to one. Okay, we're good. So that was the first time I think any demo reel has been played in here, so that was kind of fun. So cool to have that honor. Okay, when I was in kindergarten, our teacher asked us the classic question of, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I responded to them, I want to be a marine biologist. She was taken aback, not because of the answer, but because of the fact that a 5-year-old knew what that word was. And so for most of my life, I had that dream of becoming some sort of marine scientist. And I checked out like every book about ocean in the library. My family knows this. I devoured everything on Nat Geo, Animal Planet, Discovery Channel, all of it. And it just became my quiet obsession. And my grandmother, shout out to my Nana, nurtured that curiosity by taking me on some unforgettable trips to the Galapagos, Yellowstone, the Amazon, so on and so forth. And I even enrolled in some college-level classes to study marine science during the summer. The point is, for most of my life, I was going to go to college to study marine science. And senior year, my family remembers this all too well. I turned to them in the wintertime and was like, hey, I think I want to study film. And we were already looking at colleges, and I think I already been accepted into a few science colleges. And they were like, this would have been great to know about a year ago. And I couldn't explain why I wanted to study film, but I just knew there was something there that I needed to do. I think the biggest thing was I realized it was something you could do as a career. Throughout my 4 years at Taylor, I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do with my degree. I only knew that I was drawn to visual storytelling, whether that be photography or videography. I knew that I had a deep love for photography, but as I said, I had no clear vision as to what that would look like. Before coming to Taylor, I hadn't even touched any sort of camera, let alone a RED, or any of the big, beautiful equipment that we get the honor of using here. So I knew nothing coming in, but I learned so much in the 4 years that I was here. I think the biggest shift for me was when I took documentary with Kathy, and even went on the international trip with Stephen Lincoln. So if you guys are, for underclassmen, if you're thinking about taking those classes, do it. Because that is where I developed this passion, and I realized that I can combine my two interests, film and wildlife. And I began to understand why God put me where I am and why He created me the way He created me. To travel and to capture stories of people, the planet that we live on. And after the years I spent here working on documentaries and photographing and photography projects highlighting international wildlife and just general life, I realized that the camera just became a part of who I am. Many of you who know me know that I don't really go anywhere without my camera. So as I look ahead after graduation, I don't yet have a clear plan, but I do know that I will trust God with where He takes me in life, and that I will continue to pursue this person that He has created me to pursue documentary, to pursue photojournalism. I will, however, in June and July, I will be going out to Boston to work as a gaffer on a feature film. So that's exciting. But after that, there are no clear plans. I don't have a job secured. But I will continue to pursue what I'm passionate about. So thank you.
could just leave it on the podium after you get out of my ears.
I can vividly remember the night before I moved into my dorm here at Taylor for my freshman year. I was lying in bed with a lot of thoughts swirling around my head. I was very unsure about taking this step into a major investment of my time and resources and my family's time and resources. And I knew that I had a passion for telling stories and for using digital media to create compelling pieces, but I wasn't sure if it was really going to be more than a hobby. And looking back now, I'm so grateful for how my classmates and professors and coworkers and supervisors here have really stepped into that and helped me see how my gifts and my skills can serve the kingdom and the people around me. And I feel equipped not only through my classes, but through friendships and through the jobs I've had in my time here. And I feel prepared and sent as my class approaches graduation in just a couple weeks here. My classmates and I are tasked with a seemingly impossible job to tell moving stories that glorify God in a truthful way in a world that's really forgotten what truth is. And that responsibility is a gift and a huge challenge, and it's one that the faculty here pushes us into with every conversation every day. And after graduation, I'll be moving to Atlanta and pursuing work in digital marketing and corporate video production. But I'm super thankful for the family I have here that I'll always have. So to my classmates and professors and friends here, thank you.
It's about to become a ghost. They're asking if there will be a tomorrow.
Just another reminder how quickly everything changes.
Ти міг чути історію, ти міг чути розкази своїх, але ти ніколи не можеш бути готовим.
І я так задаю запитання дружині своїй, як ти думаєш, ми все зробили, що могли? Чи ми десь щось не доробили? Я більше не міг зробити. Я зробив все, що я міг зробити для цього часу. Весь час так стараюсь говорити. Я думаю, що ми зробили все, що могли. Чи і нас більше не було ні сил, ні можливостей. Ми використали всі можливості і всі сили.
What's up, guys? So a few semesters ago, on a random Thursday at 10 a.m., I check my phone in the middle of historic Christian belief, and I read the following text from my good friend Ben. Long shot. Would you want to go to Ukraine? And after a few moments of deliberation, I said yes. This text led into some of the very best months of my life, chasing down a story we would later call Testament, all of which would only happen because of a willingness to explore and engage in the present moment with my crew and co-director. I think the thing that I've learned most about this major is the shared creativity, and I've learned to really value the moments that it creates. I came into Taylor as a freshman determined to be a technically savvy cinematographer. JP can testify, this semester I have not set a camera up once. I don't know how to check equipment out. So life throws you curveballs. And I think in my time here, my other big learning is to let expectations go and instead try to understand how you can serve those in the moment around you and try to hear the Lord's voice. In the short term, I'm going to be completing an internship with a production company and moving to the Chicago region. And in the long term, I'm hoping to do more documentaries to continue honing my skills and seeking that same voice. Thank you.
Hello. My name is Steve. I am here to present the first award. So tonight the first award is the Best Project from Audio Production Short Form. So these projects were selected through the assignment of the commercial. So you all made one of these at some point. Somehow, this project came from the audio class that I did not teach. But the award is The Tinder Spot by Ava Lynch. Oh.
We should really do this more often.
I know. I feel like we have so much to catch up on. Tell me about Brian. How are things going?
I think he's the one. I just wish he lived closer. He doesn't have his license, so it's been a lot of driving.
Whoa.
You don't think she's here? Is she here?
She's here.
Get up here. Come on, come on, come on. Come quickly.
All right. The next award goes to the Best Audio Production Project that's long form. So these were chosen from the podcast assignment and the drama project. This year's award goes to...
That is the sound of an IMAX film projector at the Indiana State Museum during a showing of Dune Part 2. But what is IMAX? It's a so-called premium form.
All right, the next award goes, let's see. This is a new award this year because the first time we have taught podcasting in our department or in our program. So the award for Best Podcast goes to a group that worked really well together all semester, even if they could not agree on the music. Well, just one of them doesn't agree on the music. And just because you win the award doesn't mean you don't have to come to class at 8 a.m. tomorrow. But the court retort.
Buckle up and join us on The Court Retort, a podcast dedicated to cracking open the vault of unique court cases, providing insight and uncovering the unexpected realities of the world.
Good job. Congrats.
We are stewards of the stories around us. A good steward will not imitate something, but respond to it. Respond to the time they're in. We create for such a time as this.
I know this is work that has to be done, and I am in the army of doing it.
Hello. My first impression of the Taylor Film Department was as a teeny 8th grader who went to one of the family weekend live TV workshops. The whole environment felt so foreign but fascinating, and those college students running the workshop were the coolest people in my mind. It's crazy to think that we're literally here right now as seniors, and everybody says this, but I never actually thought this was going to be us. As a freshman, I was really intimidated by the experience and talent of my classmates, and I didn't really think I fit the film major mold. It took time, but throughout my 4 years, I've learned that it's less about proving yourself and more about how your skills can complement a larger team to create something worthwhile. And as we've learned in Capstone, this is really a picture of the church and God's kingdom, living out our shared purpose together and not in competition. So my advice for others in the major is to embrace the niches you bring to the table, even if it doesn't feel like what a typical film major is. Ask questions and seek feedback for your work, especially from profs, because they want to make your work better. And lastly, invite the presence of God to invade your work. He wants to show you his goodness and provision, even in the little things, if you just open your eyes to it. In just 2 weeks, I get to marry my best friend on May 25th. Then this summer, I'll be a production coordinator intern at Phelps Creative House, which is a video marketing company in Indy. After that, my fiance and I plan to move south to Florida, and I'm looking forward to gaining experience in any kind of film industry, as long as it's a place where I can impact culture, cultivate personal connections, and coordinate dynamic projects in a producer-type role. Wherever we all end up, I really hope that we keep in touch, all of you seniors. Whether you're looking for a wedding videographer or just want to say hi, please reach out. I'm so excited to see where the Lord directs each of you and uses all the immense talent in this room for his glory. Thank you.
So I've had so much fun these past 4 years. I've learned so much and had so many great experiences that I wouldn't get studying anywhere else or studying anything else. I remember when I was looking where I wanted to go to college and what to study, I came upon a section on Taylor's Film and Media website that explained about an opportunity to go to LA for a semester and study. I remember thinking how much of an awesome opportunity that would be. Now, during my time here, I've not only gotten to go to LA, but I've gone to Sundance, connected with many cool filmmakers, and made some great projects. Throughout those experiences, I've learned a lot about myself, my strengths and weaknesses, and what my plans for the future may be. While I'm not entirely sure what the future looks like, I know that God has used these past 4 years to shape me and prepare me for whatever may come. As a creative created in the image of the first and greatest creator, I hope to reflect him in how I live my life, but especially in my craft by valuing excellence and compassion while pointing to what is good, beautiful, and true. At my high school, the sports teams would always end our huddles with the words "for him," as in "for God." That phrase has stuck with me these past 4 years. All the experiences, all the opportunities, all the projects, they've all been for the God that I get to serve every day. Galatians 2:20, one of my favorite verses in the Bible, I think captures the heart of this well. It says, "I have been crucified with Christ, and I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. The life I now live in the body, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me." After graduation, I'm not quite sure what I'll be doing or where I'll be living, although my goal is to get some sort of sports broadcasting production role. But I know that whatever I do, I get to live and create for my Creator and Savior, who loves me and has abundantly blessed me through these 4 years as a Taylor University Film and Media student. Thank you.
Think this is gonna work? What did you do?
You saying those guys won't be around all the time? Didn't you say this was your last year at the lake?
Fingerprints? fingerprints.
Hello. If I cry, I'm just like a ball of emotion, so don't worry about it. As you saw on our tables, these speeches are meant to be printed and framed, and when I sat down to write mine, I found myself debating between two different fonts, Times New Roman or Courier. As a film major and a creative writing minor, these two fonts are the backbone of my creative existence. For those who don't know, Times New Roman is the standard format for MLA and manuscripts. It's what I've written every essay, poem, and novel in, and if I open a document, it's Times New Roman, just every time, double space. I can't avoid it. Courier, however, is the film industry standard for screenplays. And when I looked up the reason why, I found that it was because it was more uniform. With Courier, each letter takes up the same amount of space. Naturally, as a writer, that immediately struck me as a metaphor. So one of the primary differences I've found between script writing and other creative writing is space. In books and poems, you kind of have as much space as you want. You can write a half-page poem or a 517-page book, which I haven't done for sure, or whatever. But for film, space is much more important because script space equates to time. We're taught you get a minute per page, and the time limit matters. Just this semester, I had to cut 10 pages from a script, so it would only be 15 minutes instead of 25. This means that every word in a script needs to be there. Every word has to mean something. You can't spend a paragraph describing a location or a character. You get one adjective, maybe two, that's it. So you've got to make your words count. I'm not saying that the words in books don't matter, but in film, you have less time to say what you want. So you have to choose your words wisely. So here's the metaphor. College, and dare I say life, is the same way. We have a time limit. There's an unfortunate urgency that pushes us towards an end. That means our words matter. Our actions matter. My time at Taylor and in the film department has taught me that. I've been surrounded, challenged, and encouraged by people who have shown me the power of words, my words, for good and ill. People who have shaped me into a kinder, smarter, bolder person. A person who is hoping to wield her words wisely as I, pursue a career as a writer in both Times New Roman and Courier. So I hope to write stories that linger in people's hearts and minds, stories that point people towards the light, redemption, and hope of Christ, stories that make every word matter. I'd like to thank God, first and foremost, and my friends, my family, and the film faculty for shepherding me, encouraging me, and giving me lots of notes. John. I'd also like to thank my professors in the English department for expanding and deepening my love of literature and creative writing. And lastly, I'd like to challenge you all, especially the underclassmen, to choose your words wisely. Make them mean something, because all the letters take up the same amount of space, and you only get a minute per page. Thank you.
All right, we are moving on to the award for FEP short form. So this is the commercials. This year's award goes to two filmmakers who tried to look disinterested in class, but they really paid a lot of close attention and they really worked hard. So this award goes to...
I think I like when it rains. To go to the light. And what it's like to
Matthew and Brody. All right, the long form FEP award. This one can go to Project 2 from the current year, or from Project 3 from last spring or last fall, because these projects were turned in after the awards program. In this case, the filmmaker who is currently in FEP, this award goes to
The evil Captain Derek is at it again. He's launching a spaghetti
Elizabeth.
attack. Oh, yeah.
All right, and then best project from Producing for Clients class. It was a tough one this year. All the groups worked really hard, and they had produced great pieces while dealing with many challenges. The winning group had to deal with me, the client, and the unusual politics of Upland, Indiana. This award goes to
When we look at creating spaces in the town of Upland, we want things to echo some of that historic quality when we're bringing new things into town.
Main
for
Street Mile.
Generations.
My dad wanted us getting our Taekwondo black belts first. Just to say we have a black belt in Taekwondo, but I don't think he realized this is what we wanted to do, mixed martial arts and the whole thing.
I found her body and then you showed up. I need to talk to my friends.
No. Mikey, what's wrong? Are you mad with me? I don't know. What's wrong with me? Am I just a slack-off? Just an absolute failure? Do I just not have what it takes, Frank?
They say greatness isn't given. It's earned. Think you have what it takes?
It's time to lock in. Many of us believe that we all know what the greatest movie of all time is. Some would say The Godfather, Back to the Future, or even Pulp Fiction. I hate to say it, but objectively speaking, the greatest film of all time is hands down Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2. Growing up, I remember watching the behind the scenes way more than the actual film of Spider-Man 2. I was so fascinated with how the crew was able to bring my favorite comic book hero to life on the big screen. So for a while, I actually thought about thinking about being a filmmaker, but eventually I just didn't think the arts was for me. I thought a stable 9-to-5 job sounded way more appealing because at the time I knew of the risks of what it meant to be an artist. So after graduating high school, I went to IWU to study marketing and to be a part of the tennis team. Gross. No, I'm messing. But I loved my time there. I met great friends, made great memories. But then I got asked one of the hardest questions of my life. Jack, what do you want to do with the rest of your life? Holy crap. I had no idea. I often prayed, God, where do you want me? My incredible parents told me to chase after what brings me joy in life. I didn't know what that was until Spider-Man No Way Home dropped. Then I was like, oh, maybe I should be a filmmaker. My father told me to reach out to John and Kathy Bruner, and I did. And once I stepped into RUP, the old film building, it was like God saying, here you go. And so I transferred, not knowing much about filmmaking, had a few moments wondering, did I make the right choice? Did I make the right decision? But the faculty brought me in with nothing but love, kindness, acceptance, and lots and lots and lots of patience. To John, Kathy, Lincoln, Josh, and Steve, I hope you know how much we all love you and are beyond grateful for being your students. But it wasn't only the faculty that took me under their wings. It was the upperclassmen as well. To Ben Teedy, Anna Rodman, Heidi Dalton, Dee Hope, Franklin Steiner, and Aiden Merck, I love you all and thank you for believing in me and helping me become a better storyteller. To my fellow classmates, I couldn't have asked for better friends. I really do love you all, and I'm just beyond grateful for you all. Shout out Kylie Kinsman. She keeps my head on straight. Honey, I love you. I'm very, very grateful for you. And to my parents, you already know. Sorry. But I'm blessed to be your son. And since my time at Taylor, I've learned that filmmaking can help people. I learned this especially with telling Elijah and Isaiah Abel's story. My hope for the future is to use my art to help people around the world, whether it's through fictional filmmaking or telling real-life stories. Art has the power to give a new life and new perspective to people. I plan on moving to LA to do the LA program, and then afterwards, following baby Jesus. I don't know afterwards, but we're going to figure it out. And if he was able to help me find my purpose back 4 years ago, I've no doubt that he'll be with me the rest of the way. God bless you all, and who loves you? I do.
Hello. Before I ever held a real camera, I directed blockbuster epics in my living room, starring action figures, plastic dinosaurs, and army of Legos. They weren't Oscar winners, unless there's an award out there for Best Picture made by a kid who didn't even know how to write a script, let alone direct. But those messy little projects were the first sparks of something real, a love for storytelling through moving images. That passion has followed me from childhood into college, where it's grown deeper and more focused with each new story, set, and collaboration. What began as playful experimentation has become a calling to create stories that move people visually, emotionally, and spiritually. At Taylor, I learned that filmmaking isn't just about framing the perfect shot or mastering the latest software. It's about empathy, collaboration, and the courage to be honest. I discovered that storytelling at its best comes from a place of vulnerability. When we let go of control and open ourselves to the process and to others, we create work that connects. That's when the camera stops being a machine and starts being a lens into something bigger. In the short term, I'm planning to attend Full Sail University this summer to pursue my master's degree and continue developing my skills in filmmaking, particularly in cinematography. Long term, I hope to work professionally in the film industry, shaping compelling stories that resonate. But more than just a career, I see this as a calling. I want to use my gifts to impact culture with honesty, beauty, and hope. My goal isn't to make Christian films, but to be a Christian who makes excellent films, works that glorify God simply by reflecting his character, creative, redemptive, and good. As C.S. Lewis once wrote, the world does not need more Christian literature. What it needs is more Christians writing good literature. And that's the kind of filmmaker I want to be. Thank you.
Sup? My biggest inspiration for pursuing filmmaking when I was back in high school was making skits with my best friend, skits that honestly I'd be way too embarrassed to show publicly. If you find them, don't tell me, I don't want to know. They were like goofy promotions for school events and inside jokes that only made sense to the two of us. But those silly films were the spark that got me to express my creativity through filmmaking. We were the only 2 students in our entire filmmaking program, which meant our teacher gave us a lot of creative freedom. That freedom gave me the space to dive into new software, like the editing software DaVinci Resolve, and explore the 3D filmmaking program Blender. There were no quizzes, deadlines, or anything. It was just me and my friend making goofy videos. That was my first real exposure to editing and VFX, and looking back, it was the moment I started down my path here at Taylor. Since coming to Taylor, the most important thing that I've learned is the value of pushing beyond your comfort zone in every project that you make. You don't grow by staying safe, whether that's a camera you're familiar with, an editing program, or a certain style of filmmaking. Growth comes from risk, from trying something new, and from embracing the possibility of failure. I wouldn't have chosen VFX as my industry of choice if I wanted something easy. For example, learning a new VFX program for our narrative in just 2 months was one of the most intense challenges I think I've ever faced here. I had moments where I questioned my own abilities as a VFX artist and whether I could even pull off half the shots my director, Patrick, was asking me. But the pressure forced me to problem solve, ask for help from people in the industry, and to grow in ways I would have never expected. I walked away not only with new technical skills, but also a deeper confidence in my own ability to learn new things and adapt. After graduation, I plan to spend the next few months pursuing opportunities in video production, ideally with a focus on editing, motion graphics, or VFX, or whatever post-production is thrown my way. My hope is that whatever I help create, whether it's film or some piece of marketed or branded content or something totally different, that can be used by God to reach others. I want to continually push myself after I graduate in new ways and keep learning in this profession. Thank you.
So I was looking at the program and I saw this name, Nathan Montalvo. I'm like, who's Monty? Monty, yeah, it made sense. I don't know if we've called you Nathan once. So, hi, I'm John. I'm actually representing Lincoln, who's having fun on a beach or something right now. I'm hoping he's watching. Everybody wave, hey Lincoln. And I'm here to talk about, or give the best screenplay award from the script writing class. So, script writing, that blank page, that horrible thing you stare at mocking you until you have that first idea. Okay, read it? Okay. Where did we go the last time we took your old car out? Huey sighs as he looks around, confused. Darling, I can't remember. Have we ever taken it out? Alba looks up to Huey as she looks into his eyes. I can't remember. Love it. Who else wants to see the rest of the film? This year's Best Screenplay Award goes to Lucy Jarvis. Okay, the Outstanding Award for Multi-Camera Live Production, the Project Award. What you learn in multi-camera live applies to many things in other forms of production, including everything in the rest of your life, really. It's about planning, it's about meeting deadlines, it's about making sure you keep all of your friends by the time the project is over. You learn how to do television or production that'll be used in stadiums, large screen support, churches. Here we focus on events that the director actually has to cue all the events for, rather than just sort of follow the action. It's a lot of fast decision making. There were many hurdles to get over this year because there were construction delays, which led to delays getting more than 2 cameras to work, and we need 4. There were big delays in set construction, which our students had to work around. We rescheduled many projects, which is difficult because you're bringing an entire crew in. I'm here and seeing all these. I see you, Daniel. I see you. It was a lot to ask of them. And throughout it all, both classes just rolled with the changes, and no one complained even one time. And that was so kind of you, given all we were trying to pull off here. I am really proud of all of you. Here's a clip from the winning project.
Up on 2, title in. And let's lose title. 1, start your zoom. All right, let's open mic, fade music under, cue host, dissolve 1.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Ready,
good
title?
evening and welcome back to The Night Shift.
Title in.
I'm your host, Caleb Heffern, and let me tell you, we have one amazing...
Annie Troyer for The Night Shift. You did not see this coming, did you? Okay. The next award is for Best Directing and Cinematography Project. These projects were designed to develop and enhance the understanding of the visual portion of film, directing actors, directing and operating the camera, and how these elements work together. This year, we climbed a mountain that not too long ago seemed impossible. This was the first class to include virtual production, like in the history of Taylor University. I am thrilled with the quality of the projects, and I'm grateful that the students really seized the opportunity to make excellent work in all their projects. Here's a clip from this year's winner.
You look so good for the camera. You wear the biggest smile.
So congratulations to Caroline Paschal, Elise Masters, Jameson Chesser, and Chloe Gard. Okay. Next, this is crazy. Our next award is for Best Project in the, I can't believe I'm saying this, virtual production class. Something we've been working towards for literally years. So first, a big shout out to Zach. Is he in the room? Zach, somewhere here. I guess he's not here. Zach was working on an independent study in the same area that this class was in, and he's got a lot of knowledge in the area, and he was generating content that really helped, I think, us, but Josh and I, but literally everybody in the class. And then also a big shout out to Josh, who may be watching, so hey again, Josh. And he was basically up and down that scissor lift, hanging lights in here all the time, like the last few days, among a lot of other things. So a lot of people worked together hard to pull off this whole class. I'm very happy with how well it lived. And here's the winner of the award for Best Project.
Face it, Al. Got you like a barrel's got a fish.
When Giuseppe gets this, your case is kaput.
I think you mean if. Now just hand it over, buddy boy. This one's done.
I'm gonna toss it.
What was Al trying to pull? Giuseppe loved fishing about the same as a fish loves fishermen. We both knew that.
Okay.
Now I knew he was nervous.
The award goes to Harboring Lies. That's Greg Compton, John Horn, Owen Gluck, and Nathan Montalvo. So, sir, congratulations to you. Everybody gets one. No pushing or shoving required. You get yours. Here you go. Well done.
I want to shake John's hand.
That's the real reward. Congratulations.
can't do this, man.
Oh my.
So I started my college career at DePaul University School of Cinematic Arts. Yikes. That was tough. I didn't find the community I hoped for, and I felt like I wasn't growing as a filmmaker or a Christian. The transition to Taylor was also pretty tough. I went from commuting every day into the city by train to living here on the quiet campus of Taylor University. It took time to find my footing and figure out what I was truly passionate about, but eventually I began to grow, not just as a filmmaker, but also in my understanding of God's grace. At first, I thought I wanted to pursue live production. That's all I did in high school. And so seeing the live production here, I was pretty convinced that that's where I was going to end up. But over time, I became more drawn to cinematography, color grading, and editing, and I realized that I thrive in fast-paced environments where I'm pushed to think on my feet and create under pressure. That shift opened up a new path for me, one focused on visual storytelling, collaboration, and creative problem solving. The project that helped me realize this was For Isaiah, a documentary I created last semester in Kathy's documentary filmmaking class. In that film not only sharpened my storytelling abilities, but it also led me to some of the most meaningful friendships that I've ever made here. Telling real, unscripted stories grounded me and reminded me of why I love filmmaking. I believe that everyone is created in the image of God, whether they realize it or not. And so I want to tell authentic stories that glorify God's creation, God's people, and what He's doing in other people's lives. Not necessarily through ministry or a church environment, but through documentary work where I can meet new people, work in creative environments, and continue to grow under pressure. After college, I'm going to be interning at a production company in Chicago called Vantage Point Visuals. There, I'll assist around the office as an editor or assistant editor, help manage their rental house, and do some social media stuff there as well. I'll also continue to freelance in the northern suburbs, and eventually, I hope to establish myself as a high-end cinematographer in the downtown area. Thank you.
Hi. I came to Taylor undecided on my major, but determined to find something that fit me, which at the time seemed pretty much impossible, considering all I knew about myself is that I had an affinity for picking up new technologies, and if I spent my whole life doing something that wasn't at all creative, I would probably shrivel up and die. Nothing really fit my expectations until after a rather intimidating meeting with Kathy. I hadn't taken new majors yet to learn that she isn't scary. I decided, yeah, I mean, not really. I decided to take audio production to try the major out. I loved it immediately and declared myself a film major after spring break, never looking back. Well, sometimes looking back, at least once a project. This filmmaking stuff is really hard. But if I've learned anything from the crazy ride of the past 3.5 years, it's this. There's a lot you can learn from doing hard things, and even more you can learn from failing at hard things. Every project with its successes and mistakes is a beautiful time capsule of lessons learned that helps to build the foundation of who we are as filmmakers. After graduation, I will be living in Colorado with my soon-to-be husband and hopefully finding a job in the industry that lets me have like a producer kind of role and continuing to make projects there until the day that we can afford to move to LA. I hope to find a place on productions that amplify neurodivergent voices and to help create and cultivate a sense of belonging and understanding for those who often feel pushed aside, sharing the love of God with them by depicting the beauty of how God made them on the screen. Shout out to all my fellow film majors who have walked alongside me as I bumbled through projects in the past couple years. I've learned so much from all of you and can't wait to walk into the future with you. Shout out specifically Lauren. I love you very much.
So I too, like Jack, came from Indiana Wesleyan after a couple rough years. Started off in actually the same program, the communication program. And in those first couple years, I found myself wanting more, wanting something different than where I was. Why did I pick comm? I'm not good at math and I'm not good at science, so I'm like, I like to talk and that'll work. But the question is, why film? And why did I decide to do it? And I think, I hope this does justice why I think film is a great outlet for me personally. I create not to just be seen, but to reveal what is already there, the fingerprints of our Creator, etched into every little thing, every motion, every heart that dares to live and strive. Through the eye of a camera, I chase the unseen, the flicker of purpose in an athlete's eyes, the quiet strength of our Father's hands, the soft glow of redemption breaking through the dark. This is holy ground. And I tread it with a camera in hand and reverence in my heart. I believe stories change people. They awaken memories. They stir conviction, and they echo His workmanship. My work is worship. Each cut and color grade is crafted to praise our Creator. Each storyboard a meditation. Each project a chance to draw someone, even for, if just a breath, closer to our Creator in the beauty and the majesty of His grace. I'm looking forward to joining Chester Media to not just make films, but to serve people, to steward their stories with honor, to reflect the image of our Creator through the craft He placed me in. I create so the world might see more clearly, not me, but the God who shaped me. And if, though, through my work, one life is touched, one heart softened, one soul awakened, then I have done what He has made me to do.
All right, we are on to the best documentary of the year, and I do not vote for this because they are all equal in my eyes. So the other faculty have chosen this one.
For a lot of fighters, man, you're backstage and you're getting ready for them to call your name. You'll feel those jitters, man, and you almost want to tell yourself, I don't want to do this. Why am I here? But for me, I always have this reminder. I've got Isaiah's name tatted on me. I always remind myself, like, I want to be here.
Come
He
on
can't
up,
do this. I'm
Jack
living this
and
dream.
Jack and Kylie. All right, next we're going to recognize 2 awards for WTUR, which is our campus radio and podcast station. And I'm going to invite station manager Devin Smith to come up. I want to thank Devin for his leadership of the team this year. He's already been recognized with a Certificate of Merit for Leadership from Taylor, which I recommended him for, so proud of that. And now Devin's going to recognize the Staff Member of the Year and the WTUR Radio Show of the Year.
Let's go ahead and do staff member first. There's about 6 of us on WTUR. Everyone pulls their weight. Everyone does an amazing job. But this individual always pulled through, even at the last moment when we really needed it. So for WTUR Staff Member of the Year, I would like to recognize Jaden Mason. Do I take this one? Enjoy.
I am Steve, and this is a radio station, specifically WTUR station, a magical place where we play student-hosted radio shows, just like this one. We also play 24/7 non-stop music. Check this out. Disc jockey.
He's greater than.
Just download the Radio FX app on your mobile device. So what are you waiting for? Listen to WTUR now on Radio FX or go to WTURonline.com to start jamming.
That was supposed to be at Airband, so you got to see it now. Now, for Show of the Year, this was a pretty unanimous decision that this show always pulls incredible work, prepares great graphics, really puts the time and care into their show. And so we're going to play a clip of it. Actually, we're not. It's Disability Digest.
Oh, well, that's all right. They already know. All right, our department is privileged to be able to give multiple scholarships during the year. And the Gabrielson Family Scholarship was given to our program by my uncle, and actually my cousin is here, and it's her dad, so wave, there we go. Dad and Mom, Ted and Jean Gabrielson gave this. As amazing supporters of Taylor over the years, the Gabrielsons wanted to recognize outstanding talent and potential impact for the kingdom of God in either Christian or mainstream media. And we have 4 scholarship winners this year. Continuing from last year is John Horn, and new recipients Kylie Kinsman, Anna Porter, and Devin Smith. Come on up. And And the Kohler Communications Annual Scholarship is given by alumnus Eric Kohler, who is a freelance camera operator and producer in Indianapolis. And Eric established this scholarship to recognize outstanding achievement in our program, and we're incredibly grateful to him for his investment in his alma mater. And this year's recipient of the Kohler Scholarship is Jack Bowser, and Jack will be using that for his 5th fall in Los Angeles. And the Ulstad Media Annual Scholarship is given by Taylor graduate Connor Ulstad. Connor wanted to set aside some of his earnings to bless someone in the Film and Media Arts program who shares his passion for entrepreneurship and who might someday own their own production company. This year's winner is Lucy Jarvis.
It helps me personally because it helps me connect with so many people around the country and around the world.
Oh, okay, right. You didn't go lock me in the basement.
Have the dunes, have the sand, and just water, endless water.
Has she done this before?
I don't know. What's wrong with me? Am I just a slack off? Just an absolute failure? Do I just not have what it takes, Frank?
In 3, 2, 1, action.
It's a trigger. The film department is rub. How I know if I've been rubbed if there is no rub.
I remember in my heart when he challenged us. I don't know to do much, but I feel good in the water. So maybe God will send me to a place that I need to swim.
No, cut, all right? It's all ball, all right? This is the most important shot in the entire
Why is he being so picky?
and you just can't get it right.
You don't know?
All right, I forgot my speech out there, but I have a copy on my phone, luckily. As some of you may know, I actually have no idea how to swim, and you may wonder where this is going, but when I found myself in the Atlantic Ocean with a GoPro strapped to my hand, my last thoughts were something on the lines of, I can't believe I'm risking my life for such a lame shot. And because of that, from then on, I promised myself that I would never settle for a lame-looking shot again. I'd first like to thank all of our faculty, John, Kathy, Steve, Lincoln, Josh. You've just been pushing us and this entire class to become the best filmmakers we possibly could be. And I want to also thank my fellow seniors and peers as well for just pushing me to become better at my craft as we all continuously grow. And in my time here, I've learned that we do this, it's just not just for content, but because it's easy to fall into a rhythm of just trying to finish the assignment and trying to create something that's like polished and a corporate look. But I want to just remind my underclassmen as well that we do this for the art too, and to stick to your vision. Stick to the fundamentals, of course. Learn the craft always, but also learn when to break them and also push it. Just because it's unconventional or breaks the rules doesn't mean it's wrong. Not every film has to look the exact same way. Don't copy me. Don't copy any of these other seniors. Try to find your own voice. In the short term, I'm going to be working for a company called Entheos. I'm going to be managing stuff in a nonprofit humanitarian effort called Hearing the Call, where we bring hearing healthcare to developing countries and the people who may need it the most. And in the long term, my employers have given me full creative control of what I get to do with those projects and how I create those and make those into meaningful stories. So hopefully becoming a documentarian and giving glory to God's name and showing his creation and what beauty there is in the ugliness and also the best parts of humanity. So, one last thing. As the great director Hayao Miyazaki said, filmmaking only brings suffering, but I can't believe I want to make another one. Thank you.
Oh, hey, Jake. What are you still doing here?
Just trying to process, I guess.
Processing, huh? Yeah, me too. Look, people are going to tell you that being a man is about taking ownership, that being a leader is about taking responsibility. Well, Jake, those people are full of crap. Tonight's loss is on the refs.
The refs?
Yeah, like LMU probably paid off the refs.
You have to get up.
When I address people where they are.
Address people?
Address. Like
Address.
The word.
Yeah.
No, that's like male. Like,
Okay.
I don't mean that. So like,
That baby is the baby that my baby hunted to Timbuktu.
so that's probably the first step for saving the world. There's a lot of different things that you need to take into consideration with doing that, though. So.
Agriculture, yeah.
It's because I'm wearing heels, that's why I'm so tall. So I want to take you all back to freshman year, my freshman year, when we all went to listen to our audio production finals at Chloe's house, and I had a stomach ache, and then it kept getting worse, and it ended with me laying on the couch for 2 hours and trying to listen to them through the ringing in my ears, and then going to the hospital and finding out I had to have an emergency appendectomy because my appendix was trying to kill me. And that was right after, just a month after, I had broken my collarbone playing rugby and was already high on pain meds. And the surgeon, who was actually a graduate of Broho, told me that I wasn't allowed in that hospital ever again because he'd seen me too many times. And that was when I learned the great Murphy's Law that if it can go wrong, it will. And it stuck with me all the way through senior year when we kept trying to get through our narrative shoot where our motors on the red kept breaking and we couldn't follow focus or do anything and we had to get a few shots manually focusing, which was so much fun. But through that, you learn to tell good stories, you know? Failure breeds great stories. And that's what film is storytelling, taking things that are relatable, true, and real, wrapping them up in interesting characters and taking them to interesting places, and hoping that someone who watches it will take at least a nugget of all the countless tears and hours you've put into it and do something cool with it. And I've been in and out of film. Film's not necessarily my forte, but I've always been good at it, and it's something that I do love. And that's what I've learned is that in or out of film, we all have stories to tell. We all have messages that we want to give people. And no matter how insignificant you think your life might be, you have good stories. And learning to tell them, learning to build relationships with people, learning to come to them on their terms and yours is how we build relationships. And that's what I think Jesus did the first time he started his ministry. He built relationships with people that he cared about. And that's what film is about, I think, bringing people together. And so that's what I want to do. After college, I've accepted an assistantship in the MAHI program, so I'll be learning how to engage with college students, and I'll be doing a research project and investigating the effects of the effects of social media on psychology. And I'll be working with Reverend Dyson and Dr. Tim McConnell in the Preach program, helping to engage and walk students through the process of preaching. Thank you.
let's fix this from Ethan. Or I'll just pull an Ethan on this one. I wanted to take this time to not only give it back to the Lord, but also to my parents who can't be here right now, but I know they're watching. Primarily my father, who is the reason I'm here for all this. Just being able to watch him make edits of me doing soccer videos and just watching him do that and him showing me his big Premiere binder that he tabbed out every page is just incredible to me, and I just give it all back to you, or to the Lord and to my father. But yeah, being born and raised in Illinois, my love for video editing began at a young age. Either making silly videos with my younger brother or my cousins, or exploring the creative possibilities of post-production. There's always something captivating about shaping a story through editing. I vividly remember one of the first projects I poured my heart into. I was about 13, I filmed a little video with my brother out in the yard. I spent about 2 hours editing it, which felt like an eternity back then. And I was so proud of myself that I ran to show my parents. And my mom smiled and said it was wonderful. And my dad said, the ending was a bit fast, maybe let it ease out more. And I was so mad. But looking back, that moment planted a seed. One of the most important things I've learned during my time here at Taylor and working in Los Angeles is how to accept and encourage feedback, how to separate my personal identity from my creative work. It's not easy, but sometimes we pour hours into something, and a simple suggestion can feel like a gut punch. But over time, I've come to see critique not as a rejection, but as a refinement, not just in my work, but also in my character. Being willing to collaborate, reshape, and rework has made me a better storyteller. We can only go so far alone, and the beauty of working with others is that they often help us see what we couldn't see ourselves. Creativity is a gift from God, and one that's meant to be shared, shaped, and refined in community. And here at Taylor, we have that perfect opportunity. After graduation, I'll be moving to Champlin, Minnesota, where I'll be pursuing client-based video work, primarily as an editor. In short term, my goal is to grow my technical and collaborative skills and take on projects that stretch me creatively. And ultimately, I want to use these gifts to give back to the Lord and just overall thank my dad and mom for giving me this opportunity. And I wouldn't be here without them. So, thank you.
Okay, our next award is for the Best Project in Film Workshop. It's an unusual class, as they all seem to be. The projects are built around obstacles. The films are a maximum of 4 minutes. The script should be just 3 pages. The films feature 2 actors, and all of this takes place in one location. So the goal is to execute a simple story especially well. And here's a clip from this year's winner.
Okay, stop. I've had enough of this. I can't do this anymore. This is insane. You're insane. This doesn't even matter. All right, what's the point? There's like 14 Starbuckses just on this block alone. This is nothing special. It's just a cup of coffee.
Okay, the award goes to barista, Jaden Mason, Audrey Moore, Anna Porter. Starbucks is just cracks me up every time. Congrats. Okay, next up is Best Narrative Film. I'm too close to these, so it's a group decision on which one gets chosen, because like Kathy said earlier, it's like picking between children. This award is given to the project from last year's narrative filmmaking class, because even now, this year's class is scrambling and freaking out to finish theirs. Those filmmakers created a wide variety of films, really remarkable, memorable, funny, and deeply moving personal films, and I love them all. The makers of this year's winning film beautifully captured complicated universal emotions, all with a sense of humor. And here's a clip.
Miles, keep paddling.
I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Miles, you gotta keep paddling, buddy.
Paddling.
Sounds like he's paddling, homie.
Can we stop yelling?
What?
Coops, I stop yelling.
Guys, we gotta keep going or we're not gonna make it to the
You
campsite.
get there, Miles, and start paddling.
Okay. Wilderness Trip, that's Aiden Merck, Colin Carrara, Ethan Koppel, and Emily Crozier. They all graduated, so the $10,000 prize for that goes to me to help me buy another car. Okay, next up, we have a unique award that we don't give out every year, and we're going to give it to 2 people. Drum roll. This does not come with cash because they are present. It's my honor to acknowledge the major contributions of 2 extremely talented students. Each have given many hours to help our program, especially over the last 2 years. I can't overstate how important their efforts have been in our move into Horn. The first honoree has done an unbelievable amount of work over the last 2 years in multi-camera production, editing, shooting, graphics, writing, everything. All those abilities, yet he remains a wonderfully kind person, and each time I thank him, he simply says, "Of course." I'm speaking, of course, of someone you all know and love. Thank you, J.P. Sasantio. Okay, the second honoree's role has expanded greatly over the last 2 years. This person's ability to proofread complicated documents with very little training and even do major amounts of detective work, fact-checking, verifying, double-checking receipts, and representing the disaster that is my credit card report and purchase orders, and kept me out of Taylor Jail as we moved into Horn. Her ability to organize information and rally people helped transform the multi-camera live class. Thank you for helping me keep the final scrap of my sanity from all of your incredible work. Thank you, Elise Masters. Okay, I'm still me. Okay, another busy year, maybe the busiest ever year for Envision Productions. Highlights are almost too numerous to mention. I can name a couple: the Christmas concert, the Envision Film Festival, all the chapel services, many episodes of TU Update, and let's not forget the unbelievable amount of work, content that was produced that we used for the big open house when we opened the building. Remarkable amount of projects. I got to get some more sleep. Remarkable amount of projects, and I kept giving them notes on Frame.io right up till like everything was due, right? I mean, it's fair to say. And they just said, I'd tell them thanks for the edits, and then JP would say, of course, and Patrick would go, I'm going to give all of them the Excellence in Leadership Award, and it's my honor to do so. They are J.P. Sasantio, Patrick Marsh, Madeline Crawford, and Thane Siswarda. Help me congratulate them. Okay, so I got to get these exactly right. So here's another one for your massive collection, sir. And then Thane, I have one for you. Let me shake your hand there. Yeah. Maddie. Nothing but love. Here you go. And one for you even. Who knew? Not me. Oh, and then this belongs, you guys are handing out this one. Yes.
Oh, you're saying that. Yeah. We deliberated long and hard, and by that I mean Thane sent one text and everyone totally agreed. It's the only person besides the staff who's in our group chat, Chloe Gard. That's it. That's all we got.
All right, so this is really cool. We are now going to scroll for a couple of minutes all the external recognitions that this group's work has achieved this year. Because we enter, well, it's basically is my part-time job to enter your work in competitions against other schools, professional competitions, and film festivals. We're going to recap all the good work. Watch, celebrate, feel free to clap and shout out your own work or the work of your friends, but pace yourself. It's about 3 minutes. Ready, go. There are not a lot of places where you could have that kind of list. It's just pretty amazing. So you all are awesome. We have a surprise external recognition because over the weekend we learned both of our nominations and our wins from the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, Central Great Lakes region, which is our regional Emmy organization, okay? So that's the highest honor in TV. So regionally, they give student production awards to outstanding work from both high school and college students in the Central Indiana and Northern Ohio region. And back in January, Josh Taylor and I entered 22 projects in the competition, 14 of which were nominees, and 9 were winners, we learned. Let's celebrate that news now. Here we go. Give me the slide. Woohoo! That's a winner in the short form. Nonfiction. Show me the next one. Nonfiction long form. This competition allows for ties, so it has to do with scores, and these were both winners. Next category. Interview discussion. Hey, The Night Shift with Caleb Heffron. Annie Troyer, way to go. Next up, Arts, Entertainment, Cultural Affairs. 2 winners. 2 winners. Making Magic and Root of the Romanesque. Way to go, guys. Next one, music video. We have a nominee and a winner. Way to go. Viral and The Pact, both recognized. And next, in fiction short form, 2 nominees and a winner. Way to go, guys. Congratulations. Next one, fiction long form. We had a nominee in Identity Crisis. Way to go. And in the craft category, JP and Chloe's photography, cinematography recognized as a nominee. And finally, in the craft category for editing, way to go, Adeline, Main Street Milestones. And there you have it. Moving on.
I'll tell you what, it's pretty awesome if your dad can do the music for you for free. That's a big blessing. Shout out to Todd Zasorda for that. I'm going to start off with a little kindergarten-style show and tell. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my first ever camera that I ever filmed with. It is a 2005 Sony, let me see what else, Digital 8 Handycam. Yeah, big shout out. It required a lot. What I did, I constantly was the volunteer for my family photography as well as videography throughout going to Disney World or throughout going to the zoo. That can also be photo animation with Legos. I remember vividly being just so tied in with Taylor University as well as the film department. That can also just be on July 5th a few times, seeing a couple fireworks hit my house from the 4th of July parties from John Bruner. So very quick start to me. And it is incredible for me to know where the Bruners have taken me, where my parents have taken me, especially even with my internship focusing with the Fort Wayne Zoo last summer was just absolutely incredible. here at Taylor, I realized that I constantly would hold my hands clenched towards God, meaning that I had an idea, I had a passion. Walking in as a freshman, I wanted to be the only directors I knew, Steven Spielberg, Christopher Nolan, Martin Scorsese, just a few of those names in it. And then realized that that is not what God is calling me to do. And as you all know, I am always sometimes just all over the place. If you guys know, my hair is kind of like a draft in a script. There's gone through like 20 different phases of it. And what I realized is that God has it all under control. The Lord has it all under control. I need to constantly just be opening my hands towards Him and be able to focus on what He has and the peace and the joy that He provides for me. After this semester, I'll be moving down towards Louisville, or for non-people here, Louisville, Kentucky. And I will be pursuing a content creator internship at a church called Southeast Christian Church, which holds more than 25,000 members. Pretty exciting, a little bit nervous, but yeah, I'm excited to see where it will take me in understanding the idea of visual storytelling. In the future, I would love to pursue a career in focusing just honestly with God's creation. That can be with nature, that can be with culture. That is just such an honorable way to be able to help the Lord's creation. I want to thank the Bruners. I want to thank Steve, Lincoln, and Josh just for so much and just helping me find a balance and find my path towards where I want to go and what I want to do. I see this journey as one where the Lord has given me incredible talents and incredible abilities. And each one of us seniors has been given the incredible talent and ability by the Lord. And that is so incredible. I think the only way to do that is to be able to pursue what we want to do and pursue the dream that we have. And in order to give someone a general revelation as to what God can do in their lives. Thank you all so much.
Throughout my childhood, I can't remember a single time where I seriously considered becoming a professional filmmaker. Sure, I would imagine stories with my friends, talk about making them come to life, and mess around with Lego stop motion, but the extent of this was limited, and I had no idea how to even use a camera. After progressing through my high school and coming to the end of my senior year, I didn't have any sense of direction in my mind. I felt lost and like I should have a sort of more calculated trajectory in the future. I reluctantly entered community college, undecided on a major, and it was this first semester when I started to have a strange sense of reassurance, almost like the Lord echoing Proverbs 19:21. Many are the plans in the mind of a man, but it is the purpose of the Lord that will stand. I took a course in photography that semester and was encouraged to take another. Through this, I was able to integrate my faith with a newfound art and an environment which grew me in unique ways. Though I was excited by my creativity of my path, I felt like I wanted to use my gifts in the context of a more Christian environment. I was able to do this while serving on the media team at a Lake Ann camp, where I began to switch into video production. Still not knowing where I wanted to go with this, I came to Taylor University and started to be a freshman as a junior, which was a little weird. And Patrick recently informed me that he had no idea that I was even the same age as him until like this year. So it's kind of funny. But yeah, just in that I was able to just push myself into abilities of just understanding that I was behind in a way, and I needed to progress in a way that was even faster than normal, but I also needed people around me, and found awesome people just on my dorm, Sammy too, and just people in the film department that, especially the senior class, went from kind of looking up to last year, especially, to this year being peers, and it's been a really awesome opportunity to do that. I'm proud to say I've been able to go on many ambitious and sometimes risky projects over the past 2 years, time-wise and otherwise. But I would say that I was able to grow in ways with every success and failure. And I strive to find ways to grow through every project, no matter if it's a Brahma ad or a narrative shoot. The virtue of humility has been instilled in me throughout my time here, as I find myself seeing more often how I could improve and being called out for how I can improve by my peers more than I ever anticipated, which I value very much. More importantly, I've been overwhelmed by the amazing community of filmmakers here, both faculty and students, filmmakers who push themselves to create professional level work, to encourage one another as they struggle and grow in their filmmaking abilities and in their Christian walk. As I look forward, I trust in the truth that many other plans in my mind, but ultimately it's the Lord's purpose that will prevail. Thank you all for welcoming me into this community and for taking under your wings and pushing me from being a scrappy, tall, older-looking freshman to a senior confident in my abilities. I appreciate and am inspired by every one of you and proud to call you my classmates.
Not as tall as Joel. Man, I wasn't nervous until like 30 seconds ago. Hi. Wow, I am just so proud to be a part of this amazing senior class. I was sitting there like, man, my speech does not scratch the surface. You've all spoken so beautifully, and I'm glad that you have said everything, so I guess ditto to everyone if I'm allowed to say that. Okay, I want to do this backwards. I don't have a full-time job nailed down after graduation, so I'm going home to look for one. There's some camp and wedding video gigs sprinkled throughout the summer, so at least I won't die of boredom. Right now, I am thrilled to be working on the most amazing team to produce a 15-minute short film narrative set in the year 1871. So thank you to Jameson, Elise, Isaac, and Joel for just being amazing teammates to work with. And so many more who've helped us. But during my time at Taylor, I've gotten to work on a bunch of different stuff, documentary, music video, client work. I've had the opportunity to work for CBS Sports to cover Big Ten football games. Lived and worked in LA for a semester as part of the Taylor Hollywood internship program. And the film major can be a lot, but I cannot think of a more rewarding, collaborative, creative medium with the power to expand people's perspectives and literally create empathy. And I want to thank my family for their love and support through all the years, and for being actors in my iMovies. And thanks to Nana and to the Carpenters for all of your prayers and support. Thanks to each of the film faculty, John, Kathy, Josh, Lincoln, Steve, for their personal investments, and to Tracy Manning and the theater department for giving me the tools to translate my love of theater into applications for film. And thanks to all the honors and philosophy profs who have continued to challenge me academically. My anecdote is this. This fall, Jameson, Chloe, Elise, and I were working our butts off to plan our music video project, Viral. The artist was coming up from Kentucky for barely a 24-hour window, so we knew we had to be as prepared and as efficient as possible. And we were, until our lead actress dislocated her knee 24 hours before the 24 hours we needed her. Praise God that he had already provided a wonderful and experienced actress who was available all the times we needed her and intimately understood the role already. Elise Masters jumped in and killed it. And I say this because we can make our plans, but the Lord determines our steps. And in this case, he had a better plan in mind than we did. And while it's scary for me to be, as a planning person, to not know exactly what the future holds for me, but I trust that God has a plan in mind, and he will be faithful to guide me if I seek him first. And hey, if God's not at it, it ain't worth squat. Thank you.
All right, it's time for the Sound Designer of the Year. The Sound Designer of the Year is someone I've gotten to know well. This filmmaker is dedicated to excellence and collaboration. I'm so glad he did not get swept away by the ocean in Porto. JP. The Screenwriters of the Year this year. The Screenwriters of the Year have both graduated, which means they had to do all of their writing in the old building. It must have been awful. This year, the award is shared with Hannah Johnson and Kaylee Bornhofer. I'm guessing that they're not here. Now the Editor of the Year. The Editor of the Year goes to a person who works hard, never settles for second best. This editor has displayed talent in many areas of production and could be up for any of these awards. This award goes to a sweet filmmaker, Caroline.
Okay. Whoa. There we go. A little better. Okay. Cinematographer of the Year. A lot of the this was really hard. I mean, look around. Everybody can shoot really well in this whole front row. So it's a really hard one to choose. Some of the work from last year has been acknowledged this year in many different ways and awards, so that's pretty incredible. But also the job of cinematographer in short films and independent films it's really many jobs that are contracted into one job. On a big film, and this is not for our students, this is for the guests, but on a big film, there's somebody called the director of photography. They may never touch a camera. They design shots, they choose cameras, they choose lenses. A camera operator would run the camera, and they'd have 2 assistants, and then thered be gaffers and grips, and they basically can sit in a chair and tell everyone what to do if you're a director of photography. There's also all those other roles. So this award really encompasses a broad range of specializations from director of photography all the way down. For that reason, it's incredibly hard to pick one person, so we picked 2. Patrick Marsh, Jameson Chesser. You know you needed it. One more. Why not? Some of you are like papering the walls of your bedroom now. Okay. Producer of the Year. Producer of the Year is another award that could go to many people for many good reasons. This year's winner has organized chaos in so many ways, from class projects to organizing the schedule and arrival of over 24 LIFT kids, the children from a local enrichment program in town. Creating the program they'd both shoot and star in, getting bands and live talent prepped and ready for all the live projects to helping the Envision Film Festival happen. Thank you again, Elise. Okay. This one's going to surprise somebody. The Live Television Director of the Year. This next award is for Television Director of the Year, and wow, again, so many talented people. We have one class in this, and people just become incredibly good in a really short time. This year's award goes to someone who is very impressive in organizing the crew, planning coverage, and directing the complicated live program that was the last Christmas concert, and it goes to Kalia Stitchter. Where are you? And you did not see this coming. Okay, and they just keep coming. This one is for Film Director of the Year. Again, another difficult category, including the narratives from last year all the way through. And I don't make these decisions alone, just so be clear, so I'm not stoned if you didn't win on the way out the door. It goes to Aidan Merck. So, who forfeits his prize money to the car.
That's all the faculty have, but we understand that the seniors have something to say. So we turn the microphone over to them for the last item.
All right, we know we've kept you for a long time, so we want to keep this short, but we want to give praise where praise is due because we have amazing staff and faculty in this department. And this year is pretty unique because the senior class got to be the first class to, use this building as seniors. And it definitely would not have happened, and this department would not be the same without these amazing faculty members. So I want to start by thanking, though, our lovely Leandra, who is our program assistant. Woo! She just supports us and is such a good friend to many of us in just her first year. So we appreciate how curious and invested you are in our lives and how you never fail to brighten our day. So for the rest of the 5 full-time faculty members, the senior class has put together this little formal thank you that has an illustration of the faculty in class of 2025 in front of Horn to kind of mark the first year. Do you want to show them? Okay. Yes, it has Psalm 90:17 on it that says, "May the favor of the Lord our God rest on us, establish the work of our hands for us." Yes, establish the work of our hands. And then a little personal note. So we want to take a second to tell them why we love them, if you haven't heard it enough already, because they're awesome. So.
I don't care. I have the honor of shouting out Kathy. As we know, Kathy, for almost all of us, was the first face you see in the department, most likely as a prospective student, coming to campus and going into her office and just talking shop about what it means to be a film major. That's at least where I first met her. It's hard to believe that day sitting in her office almost 4 years ago with my parents back in the old building, it's hard to believe that was 4 years ago. But the thing I do remember vividly from that moment was after meeting Kathy, getting a tour, talking everything, my first thought, and I don't know if you knew this, was I have to study film under her. Not just I have to study film here, but I have to study under Kathy. Because being a woman, first and foremost, in a male-dominated field is hard. It's full of unspoken pressures and invisible battles, but Kathy has shown me, and I hope everyone else, not through just what she says, but how she just shows us how to live our lives. I have no clue what I wrote, so she has shown us not how to just live our lives, but how to stay grounded in who we are, how to hold on to our voices no matter where we are. In the 4 years under Kathy's guidance, I've not only learned how to make films, I've learned how to be a person. I've learned how to lead with compassion, how to listen deeply, how to live truthfully, how to stay true and live in God's word. As I said, she didn't teach us just to be filmmakers, she taught us to be people. And that's something that I don't know if you can truly express how grateful we are for that. As I said in my speech earlier, one of the biggest turning points for me was the documentary class. And while truthfully I wasn't the proudest of my project, I just learned a lot about really just everything I've already said. And in just working with Kathy in that class, and then later she asked me to help her on a new documentary she's working on, and just being able to have that time with her, learning from her, has just meant the absolute most to me. And I hope that I'm assuming it also does mean the same to everyone else. I know I don't just speak for myself here. To those graduating currently, and to those who've already walked across the stage, if they're watching, you know how blessed it is to be loved by Kathy. And to those who are just beginning your journey here, even if you've had her for new majors, you're still in for a treat. Hold on to her and learn from her, and let her love shape you. So Kathy, thank you for your care, strength, honesty, and love you've poured into all of us. Thank you for letting us cry in your office and for sharing our tears. You're one of the reasons we've made it this far. So here you go.
This was so kind.
I would just like to thank, not here tonight, but Josh Taylor, just for dude knows everything about gear. It's insane. It's insane. I came here as a transfer, and kind of had a lot of people my age knowing where gear was, especially in the craziness that was the Rupp checkout room. And I was very encouraged just by having to come in, especially when I didn't know a ton of people, and just Josh's office right there, and just talk with him. And even when I could tell he had 17,000 things, just able to really just genuinely care about what I was talking about, and just hang out in his office a little bit. And in the transition to Horn, it's wild how much is going on his plate. I mean, John talks about how busy Josh is with everything, and it is absurd. And I just appreciate how much of a servant he is toward the department, and just how much of an inspiration he is of someone who just is careful and kind to everyone, but also just puts his head down and gets to work. And so I'd like to thank, as John says, our very own Josh Taylor. So.
All right, I'll keep it short. It's another one who's not here because, I don't know, Lincoln, he had some, graduate residency or something. I don't know, it was a lame excuse, but our award-winning Lincoln Reed. He might not know it, but Lincoln has been the icon of our film class of 2025 GroupMe for 4 years. I think there was a Lincoln Reed fan club at some point, and I also think we are not the only class to have created one of those. Lincoln is an encourager. This year, I found myself in his office at a point when I was completely doubting my ability to write a good story at all. Lincoln just said, "Tell me how I can help." So I talked for 30 minutes about the story that I wanted, and then said, "What do you think?" And he gave me some amazing feedback and much needed reassurance in my ability and creative intuition. And I would not have been able to write my narrative script without his encouragement and input. So thank you, Lincoln, for pouring into each one of us so intentionally. You're the bomb. And only some people are going to understand this, but if you know, you know. That's why you don't mess with Mr. Reed.
All right. I shouldn't be the only one that likes to say his name, but everyone can say it with me, Steve. I'll be honest, Steve is like the cool uncle of the film department, if you could all agree with me on that. I don't know any guy who has made an incredible documentary about James Dean, and also their #1 streamed song last year was Pink Pony Club by Chappelle Roan. I'm not sure if I should have said that, but in in all honesty, Steve is one word that I could describe him is just peaceful. I think that there are so many times where we all of us constantly are walking into film stressed, full of anxiety, full of time commitment, and full of so much just anxiety on trying to get a project done. And Steve, in so many times and in so many projects, have just brought and provided peace. Steve has seen me in the best times in FEP and the worst times in international documentary where I am puking in a Pizza Hut in Portugal. He was there. and it's just so exciting just to be able to constantly be able to stay in touch with him. And he is just an incredible person, someone who just has taught me so much. I'm hoping has taught all of us just to, in order to go into film with peace, not only in peace, but with guidance towards so many other filmmakers. Underclassmen, I am so excited for you to constantly just have more and more classes with Steve. He's just an incredible man, and understand that if you just get an email that says, okay, period, it's perfect. So we just want to give this to Steve Bailey. Thank you so much.
All right. Underclassmen may not know John Bruner very well because he only teaches upper level classes, and I did not know him until second semester of sophomore year whenever I needed help on a script, and I decided to walk into John Bruner's office. And 2 hours later, I had some more ideas, and no, it was super helpful, and it just goes to show that John does everything that he does, the job of like 10 people, not for his own glory or praise, but because he truly has the greatest heart for these students and wants them to have the best experience he can give them here, and that's just so evident. Through my time with John as a student worker, I really witnessed that, his heart for students and his deep drive to give us the best. It wasn't in your job description to create a killer internship program, start an annual film festival with industry professional guests, or bring virtual production to a tiny school in the cornfields, but you do it to give us real-world experience and better prepare us for our career, and we're deeply grateful for that. On a personal level, one of the things I really appreciate about you, John, is that despite having a never-ending to-do list and often running on minimal sleep, you prioritize asking how I've been doing when I come into your office every day, and I've learned so much from you. So much that sometimes I literally feel like I haven't gotten anything done in your office because you'll be explaining how the fiber system works in Horn. Seriously though, it's so evident that you care more about what you can give others than just getting a job done. You are a great role model to me and for all of us for how to connect with others meaningfully, making them feel more like family than students or colleagues. So thank you for sticking with this, even though you never saw yourself as a professor. We can attest firsthand that God brought you here to do some incredible things and bless us more than you know.
Thank you to these seniors and all of you. It's overwhelming, so thank you so much. And thank you all for coming and celebrating the work of the incredible Film and Media Arts program. God bless you.